G'day, welcome back to my second attempt at all countries mode, and this is part 2. Alright, so we're starting to make some nice headway in Europe. Oh, been the first city in a while that I've had where it's gotten unhappy, so give them an upgrade and give them an upgrade to their plane as well. Now, I mean, for the most part, this plane, the upgrading the planes at the moment is just really to do with speed. I realize that the populations of most of these airports can't handle, like, won't have much more than 50 or, yeah, 50 or 100 people, and these planes can carry 600, but it's more about that they're traveling the distance between those two places much quicker. Where did that airport just open? There. I'm seeing Paris go a bit yellow here. We might just shore them up a little bit and give Berlin the same treatment. Quite happy with how Iceland's doing. Obviously, it's not going to be a major airport, so it's not going to have heaps and heaps of people vying for it. Bring in the Netherlands and connect them to Paris. Give them a significance. Not to build first level airports because of their low capacity, but we need to make some investments in opening building materials. So that's pretty hefty. I think since we've only got 1,600. So we will take the gamble here. And this guy will have to wait for me to solve this. But the fact that every airport is now going to be level 2 as I build them will be very handy. I mean, obviously it's going to leave all the existing ones, but it does mean at some point it should hopefully give me that option to say, oh, do you want to update all the existing ones? Which would then mean that since I'm not making any new ones, and all the ones that I have get bumped, we should be in a good place. So definitely the sooner this happens, the better. We've just got to hope that we can survive that price tag without anything going south really quickly while we're still waiting to get back to 0. But it's too good a deal to not take, really. The stands were making some quite good money. And that was, we did sort of get rid of that $6,000 deficit nice and quick. Hopefully just in time. Alright. So let's check it out. Yep, it's definitely level 2. There's Oktoberfest in Munich. Becoming our #1 destination again. We'll see Munich sort of stack that, but as long as, I mean, this plane's taking, what, 500 people a turn, it's going to clear that out really nice. Grid's not happy. Wow, they're not the same size sort of hub as the other major networks we've got. Other major cities rather in our network. Okay, Slovakia is up next. So who was that new city? I realize that they've given me that superjet, but I actually didn't upgrade this guy, so I can sell that guy and just have the superjet operating. In comes Slovakia. I guess where it's positioned. Oh, not Vienna. Oh. Go north. I mean, it's pretty close between the two, but I mean, I'd imagine if you live somewhere here, would you, if you wanted to go to Rome, would you just drive to Budapest? upgrade that guy there too. Tunisia. I mean, Tunisia, we can tell how that'll slot in. That'll just get connected to here. Upgrade this guy, because Belgrade is getting a bit unhappy. Yeah, I do really hope that we get that announcement to... What country's blocked at the moment? Oh, Sudan, okay. Something at the end of the line. It's not too bad. But the way that I'm setting this up, I definitely can have disaster strike if something gets cancelled out. So we'll definitely have to address that when it happens. But I would imagine that, say, like, Paris gets... Or if would be France, I'd say, as a whole gets blocked out, what I would do is I'd probably hub everything in the vicinity to the next biggest city, which would be London. Next biggest central city, I would say, to that to the one that's already operating. They'd all go to London and then have that connect to Berlin. And so there's then all those routes that can sort of operate, and whether we sell them once Paris is back on the board, or we just sort of leave them there. Cool, so there we go. That's us getting rid of all those first level airports. And so now we are completely free of level 1 airports. Hopefully we'll see a lot less yellow now. Any red planes that we see, we might try and get rid of them too, because it suggests that there's some sort of blockage on the way that they're operating. Alright, Tunisia. Morocco. Yeah, I don't know what we do with Morocco if we make it another hub down here. It's quite far from Libya. We certainly don't want to pocket ourselves, like try and spread ourselves too thin with too few major cities in this setup. Let's bring them in. And they're relatively close to Spain, though. Yeah, I might have Morocco just operate through Spain. Ah, stop doing that. Now we just gotta hope that they do that. We don't get any more level 1 planes sometime soon. Tripoli a bit more of a bump too. Now potentially if money becomes a problem, the fact that like I'm not spending just the short amount of money to go here, but instead like going all the way to Madrid, that could possibly cost me. I mean, maybe it reduces the amount of flights that anyone would take, because to get to anywhere you only have to join this network of 5 cities. And from any of them, the furthest distances that you just have to bounce through too. Like Tripoli can get to Berlin, Paris, and Madrid in 2 steps any direction. I mean, obviously that'll get worse as we get more cities in our major connectors, but yeah, hopefully it's working well, and it'll continue to work well. And as we get these places further down Morocco, they might struggle a bit more, but we'll wait and see. Okay, Algeria. Don't worry, I remembered where it was this time. And they can go through Madrid too. Southern Sudan. Not sure how South Sudan, not Southern Sudan. This would be Southern Sudan. This would be South Sudan. This would be Southern Sudan. No, this would be Southern South Sudan. This would be Northern South Sudan. Not to buy first level planes. Cool. So that's our investment to clear that out. And luckily we were holding on to a bit more money when that one happened. So we've got 20 minutes to just increase our profit to a point that we can build this stuff again. But our money does feel like it is rolling I mean, potentially this style of instead of building multiple planes like I did last time, and instead I'm building faster planes, or sort of like I'm just investing in the planes, but the point of the planes isn't to carry more passengers, it's to carry the passengers it has quicker. Possibly I'm making money faster because I'm just moving those passengers around at a quicker rate. Tangier. I think why the name Tangier is so familiar. It's the name of the hotel, the casino in the movie Casino. All right, that's Tangier's. Okay, South Sudan. We wait a little bit longer. The good thing is in this overview, you can see there's not even that much yellow anymore. Rome is probably our most constant yellow guy there. Luckily, that's still not that expensive, so let's challenge it. Let's upgrade Rome. And our lawyers win again. Good job, lawyers. South Sudan. Now let's just bring them straight into Sudan. We are really starting to cut through the middle of Africa. So even though it's going to be at the very bottom here, Cape Town will be a major airport here because it'll be the flight path that I use for, like I built in just sort of free play, to probably Brazil and probably Jakarta. There's sort of major routes in the bottom. Now, interestingly, I don't know if I send this guy to Madrid, but I send this guy to Tripoli. No, because just in case there's domestic flights, I want them only having to bounce through Madrid. I don't want them having to bounce from Madrid to Tripoli and back out. Okay. Central African Republic. Let's buy it. That's pretty deep. It's very deep. But what I'm sort of banking on with Africa is that there aren't that many flights, or there isn't that much of a population of people moving on these flights, so they can be longer. Now that seems like a really weird gamble, because I mean I assume the game isn't going to reflect equally on probably what it's like in terms of the amount of people that fly in real life. Interestingly though, in my my last replay video where I asked about the longest flights, I don't think anyone said anything apart from Johannesburg. I don't think anyone had any sort of mentioned any flights that were in Africa. Apart from that, I don't think. I could be remembering that wrong. But I don't think that anyone is traveling in all around Africa. I mean, I've done the tiniest little bit of Africa. I've only done one of my internal African flights. Johannesburg to Hoedspruit to go to Kruger National Park, and then Johannesburg to I can't remember the name of the capital of Madagascar. It's not Antananarivo, that's the other city. It's Antananarivo, the capital of Madagascar. There we go. Munich's time to shine again. Generally, once I think we know that Munich is going to constantly get hit like this, and we have Berlin as a major line, and we have Munich having a massive jet flying to it, I think that that basically every time we get Oktoberfest, it's just a celebration of making more money because we've got people on a line that we have we are more than catered for. Okay. Go, Lisbon. And we can now get the United States. So the question is, do we want to just do that on our own terms? Auto. Now, I don't know if I want to connect it to France and Madrid, just Madrid, and then also connect it, say, to Mali. So I have one route there, one route. If I'm connecting down there, I kind of think one route there, one route to Paris. 16 minutes to get Chad. Alright. Let's get Chad. Oh, that's getting really far that way, but sure, let's double those ticket prices. Go that way. No, I accidentally bought Cameroon instead of upgrading that in upgrading that. Now, I do wonder if at some point this will randomly go, alright, now unlock Cameroon. Oh, congrats, you've already done it. Here's just a bonus 6 minutes. Or if, because I've just done it myself, I just won't ever get that 6 minutes. That one, I do not know. I can't imagine that's going to be a big airport if you're down sort of in the middle of the Sahara Desert. Iraq. What does anyone know about Iraq? Love to hear about it. Certainly a place I've never heard of, and imagine it just must be a desert. I mean, it possibly could be a tourist spot to go see. 'Cause you want to go see the Sahara, there's a city that is big enough to be identified on a map like this. Now, I've got to be careful about how small these planes are, because this guy could just be starting to buckle because of how long those planes are waiting. This guy, possibly that could be a candidate to get a second plane on it. My first 2-plane line. Problem is, because I just accidentally unlocked Cameroon, I've just spent more money than I wanted to, and I don't get the United States. But that is the question that I have here. If I'm not... what happens? Do I ever benefit from already having Cameroon? Will I ever open a country and have it go, and then do Cameroon? Oh, don't worry, here's the next one. Albania. Alright, let's make sure that Albania can handle a lot of passengers going there. Romania. Alright, let's get Bucharest to Rome. Egypt. With the amount of time that I'm currently sort of maintaining, I think that I probably want to just wait till I've got almost like 10,000 for each, just in case anything suddenly goes wrong anywhere in the world. I've got that money to take care of it. Now, I can see that Rome is getting that huge amounts, but you can see as soon as a plane that big, as soon as it hits, it just clears out the whole thing. So we are looking alright. Egypt. So do we want Egypt to be its own separate thing? No. All of this we can get to connect through Turkey, I think. So I don't think we need one. Maybe something down here will be our next one. What's grinding on Madrid? Warsaw, so that'd be this guy, Paris, that's that issue. I suppose, actually, because Poland's currently a popular city, I missed that. Don't know when that was announced. Let's upgrade that one. get Egypt going. Let's get Cairo connecting just into Libya direct. Give them a significant plane, because I'm sure that Cairo is going to have its fair share of people going there. Undecided. I might make Cairo a capital. That's probably the biggest city in that part of the world, right? So let's get it connected to Italy as well. There's some pretty expensive routes I'm paying for just a place like Cameroon. Yeah, I think at the moment, just because I don't know the answer to the question of, like, do I get money for something that I've already bought, and because I'm doing a good job of holding a fair bit of money, I don't mind waiting to see when I get the US. I mean, it is connected to sort of like my existing stuff, so it is possible it'll just come up at some point. Let's just wait and see. So that time, so it sounds like the charity stuff is now going to run me at a loss, because that was more than 1,000, and all I'm ever going to get out of those seems to be 1,000. So Warsaw is now our pain point, so let's upgrade that to a jet, just because it was that popular point, but that jet eventually will figure it out. Okay. Whoop. Now, what is your grievance? I suppose it's a combination of both how far these routes are, so let's give all of them a slightly faster plane. I mean, these are all 100 population cities, so they hopefully can sustain it a little bit. That is a full-blown... I mean, you can see he's not full, so having to shift everything from that part of the world up isn't too demanding. Let's get Norway in here. They can just go straight to Berlin as well. We'll give Oslo a good plane. Next up, Greenland. So where are we going to connect Greenland to? Now, I think that if this is correct to the world, surely Greenland is going to be a very small airport. I'm pretty sure that Greenland's tiny population-wise. So hopefully this reflects that. Still, I'm going to try and get to 10,000 before we buy it, I think. This is certainly a part of the world that I haven't been to that I really, really want to go to. Iceland and Greenland. Even this place up here, I can't remember its name. It sounds neat. Where the seed storage stuff is. I mean, that's not why I want to go there. I more want to go there because it's just the end of the earth, really. But well, that's a painful time to get expensive routes when I've got to build this monstrosity. Here's what we're going to do. We've got 20 minutes for Latvia, so I'm going to outright buy the United States. And I am going to have again waited till this was gone. I realize that was a dumb move. The next 4 minutes, it's a dumb move. Hopefully Washington DC can forgive me. But in part what I want is I just want this to connect to here as opposed to connect to there. Two minutes. Washington's getting impatient. But it's okay because I can upgrade the size of Washington since it's going to be a major hub anyway. Could spend money on that. No issues. So here's people that want to go to Washington. And we can upgrade New York too. Probably it's worth more to me doing that, like long-term wise, than trying to spend the absurd money this would cost to build these expensive routes. Now this is probably the first flight that I should straight off the bat make to full-blown jets. Have him going. While he's on his way, we'll get Atlanta and New York both connected. Give them slightly bigger planes too. And we'll get this guy connected. And it probably doesn't need too big a plane. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to just watch this line. Oh, they sorted themselves out. Watching this line. This guy gets almost all the way there. And then we go. Slow it down. Upgrade, 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 upgrade. Alright, you're good again. Good. So we'll have those two planes operating that. You can see this guy's already jam-packed full. Now hopefully what we see is once this guy does arrive, that our money takes a boost. I don't think Lux is attached to anything. Another casino in Las Vegas. Cross our fingers that as this guy arrives, I imagine he's got to also then divide stuff to other places, but you can see the instant bang that hit. Yeah, there's good money in having this route open, I think. 6,500, 7,000. Bang. A lot of people gone to New York. Alright. I mean, that's not really that significant, I was expecting. I mean, it's still obviously chipping up nicely, but Paris is now certainly a bit more of a... Wow, Amsterdam's going crazy. Okay. Let's sort that out. It's Paris's basic problem. So hopefully that bigger plane for Amsterdam should address this. I mean, I probably should just upgrade it anyway, since it's now a even more major airport. Okay. Now you can see that even the speed that these guys are going, they're currently still got yellow planes, so they're not even getting maximum capacity, and they're at complete opposite ends of this path to each other, so it's a good sign that the two of them can hopefully survive that for a while. Latvia into Berlin. Democratic Republic of the Congo. Now, do I think that this should be a central point? Because it is sort of central to this section of the map. I don't know who would be the major airport in this part of the world. Would it be Kenya? I was reading the other day about the some of the going to see gorillas in the wild, and it looked like for the most part you do it in Uganda here, or you can do it in Rwanda here. And I think Rwanda was way more expensive than Uganda, but I couldn't read into what that would mean. Would that mean that Rwanda's spending more money to take care of them? What does it mean that Rwanda's exploiting it more? Who can be sure? Now that's quite far off the central point of this, so I think maybe Rwanda might be my next connection point here. I do wonder if I was aimed to make that the connection, should I shift all of these guys down? Not sure. Does mean I have to swing him up. So now, obviously Washington's gonna crack a sad if it's waiting too long for anything. I do wonder about if Houston should be a central point where it is, that anything in the south and Mexico actually does just go through Houston. We might set it up that way for now. Because, I mean, Houston and Washington are pretty far apart. Make sure Dallas has got a Pretty sure Dallas would be the biggest city. Oh, Houston's pretty big too, I think. I gotta make a decision about what I'm doing down here. It's funny that I can't actually unlock Burundi. Ethiopia is next. They can go up. No problems there. I mean, if they're going up, then maybe it's Tanzania. The next one south. Alright, for now I'm just going to send them up. Like I said, I don't feel like these guys have overly much in the way of air travel. So that they're going to all stay as pretty small airports. Maybe these guys will get bigger. Belgium. Certainly taken a long time for Belgium to become. It's just sitting there quietly watching the rest of Europe already do its thing. I suppose I didn't ask the question of why is that so busy. Oh, and it's just because so many people have been waiting in Tripoli to get there. Why are you such a popular hotspot? I guess we need to upgrade that plane because otherwise Sudan is then gonna suffer that fate too. Okay, here we go. Belgium. Paris is starting to really get hit, and you can see that a lot of it is actually these planes here. So what we're going to do is wait till these guys are about there, and let's bring in plane number 3. So this is a major route, so we have to. It's a long flight too, so we don't want to mess around with it, especially if Paris is starting to buckle under the weight of all American cities. Like you can see, all of that is to cross here. So again, we'll just wait for this guy to be a bit more along. There. Then we'll buy plane 4. Him going. So hopefully what we're getting there is quite nicely spread. I mean, like, these guys are currently just addressing the Chicago group of people, and like this guy will take half of Chicago at best. But all those 5 are still destined for here. So we do want to get that 5th plane in there. I'm just going to work out where the biggest gap is. We don't have to wait too long for the biggest gap. We can just pick anywhere to do it. Cool. Fully fledged jet, that one. As long as Washington isn't getting stuck with any issues there. Alright, let's get the last plane going. Yeah, there is probably going to be as good as we're going to get. At least we've got enough money that we can upgrade them again. It's funny that just watch these guys land in and you can't even see the dent that they're making. Luckily we've hit this is the point where we've got 2 planes back to back that go in to address it. Now normally I would have thought that Los Angeles would be a city that you would design as a hub, but there's nothing on that side of it except Hawaii and Alaska, so yeah, definitely not. Alright, I think we are going to have to spend the money to just insurance upgrade Paris. So the only thing that we don't want is to not have $6,400 later on and have that have 5 seconds to sort that out. I guess it's a positive though that we've got that many people interested in going to America, but it does suggest that there is value in sort of pushing into America, because if everyone just wants to fly there, I mean, possibly it's bottlenecked as opposed to it being the place of high interest, but either way. But certainly if these continue to stay as high as they are, this could be a problem. But that's where we want, say, Mali or something to also do that. So if anyone's coming from Africa, there's a second route into Washington. We do have a lot of money now, so let's do a quick spend. Get Belarus in there. And again, I'm just going to bring Russia into the game because of the money that we've got. Let's get Belgium connected. Now these two here are really as close to Belgium as they are to Moscow, so we won't change them. We'll just leave them where they are. Get that going. We'll get Moscow bigger. We'll get St. Petersburg with a bigger plane. Minsk. And Equatorial Guinea is what there's down here. Yeah, we do need to address this. Sorry, Los Angeles. Okay, we'll get them into Houston. And I'm just going to assume that there's going to be a lot of people flying to Los Angeles, so we'll give them a proper plane. This is still holding a fair few people for Chicago, so we'll give them a bigger plane too. And again, I don't want to just buy someone down here just for if these guys are going... These guys are having to travel a really far distance. I mean, Somalia would go north. Those guys would go north. Then I suppose I could do everything here goes to this. So maybe that's the decision, that this becomes the new hub. These guys up here can just continue to head north, or possibly when Mali comes in they could go that way. But we'll just sort of leave that as the divide for now. It's the fact that I'm seeing a few hundred people. There's Addis Ababa. New mini metro level. Which is right there, yep. Syria. Alright, let's just quickly jump on a few quick places, give ourselves a bit more time. And what we will do is call it there as the end of session 2. So again, I feel like we're moving quite well. Hopefully America is going to help a lot with our funding. And hopefully eventually we can get this a bit more under wraps, or we do just have to get the second route in. Do we just sort of go Houston to... maybe Houston to Paris will give us a second route to just have, instead of having only 5 planes crossing this, we're going to have 10. But it still means in Europe they only have to take it all to the same one spot. The only problem then would be if there's too many people coming this way, Paris is going to have to be able to spread all that pretty quick. But I think that Europe's set up to achieve that alright. Alright, any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.